Hello, everybody. Rachel here from Onchain Media. Super excited today. We're doing an IRL interview. This is not every day we get the pleasure to do this at Onchain Media, so I'm very excited. We have the CIK team with us here today, and we're going to be diving into what they're building on base with their meme coin, with their team, and just so honored to have you guys here today. And yeah, excited to hear. Maybe we can go around, do some introductions, talk about who you are, what your role is, and why you're passionate about what you're building.
Yeah, Rachel, first of all, this is, I think, we've chatted a few times and it's always a
I
pleasure.
mean, your vibe, like when we chat, it's just like the vibes are up here. We align on a lot of like values around health and
Yeah.
wellness too.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, so our team came down to Huntington kind of to chill, to be honest, to try to relax. And then there is no relaxing in
In,
this space.
in
It's
crypto,
like
yeah.
mild relaxing.
Imagine.
And when I was like, hey, I think we're like 20 minutes away from you. Why don't we do this in real life? So it's always an honor to be on here. We feel very blessed that you invite us on here. And so my name's Curtis. I'm one of the co-founders of Christ is King. And co-CEO this thing, trying to lead this while it still has some centralization to it, trying to build the community, build it strong so that we can give it to the people.
Well, it sounds like you really are doing this with like your heart's really in this. You're doing this with good intentions to build community, to spread positivity. And one thing I want to say before we dive into the agenda here is that nothing on this podcast is financial advice. Onchain Media is not affiliated with any groups of faith or with any political ideologies as well. We're here strictly for educational purposes. I encourage everyone to do your own research. So yeah, I just want to get that disclaimer out of the way before we dive into here today. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you, hear about your role and what you're working on.
Yeah, so my name is Weston Hill. I go by West, like the direction, and I'm excited to be at this table.
Today.
Yeah, so West Coast is the best coast, but no, honestly, I'm excited to be at this table because I'm new to the base community, and really what my role is at CIK, Christ is King, is to be able to break the fourth wall and be able to bring the Web3 to the marketplace. And so I have a really big background in tech startups, as well as being a huge fan of church, the capital C church. I was baby Jesus in the Christmas play at my church growing up. And so I've seen the goods and bads of the four walls of the church. And I think it's about time that the church isn't afraid to get behind the veil when it comes to cryptocurrency and to be able to experience that base is for everyone. It's even for the church.
Absolutely,
Come on.
absolutely. And we were just talking before we started recording here about how many people around the earth are aligned with the faith. So, we always say base is for everyone, the on-chain space is for everyone. I think we really need to open up and be as inclusive as possible, so everyone feels welcome, whatever your interests are, whatever your beliefs are. So can you guys kind of unpack what that looks like on a global scale?
Yeah, I think that there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's like 2.4 to 2.6 billion Christians.
Yeah,
You're right.
And we don't all agree on all the same things, but we all believe that Christ is King. And I think that's the unifying banner for us. But what I think is interesting is at Base, and why I love Base is that they're going big. Like,
oh yeah,
they've made some big
we're blue
announcement.
chip,
Coinbase
baby. We're blue
is
chip.
going. I mean, is it like DoorDash or Shopify's coming on?
Yeah, just this past week. Yeah, there's a whole thing, can of worms we can go into there. But, yeah.
But they're going for it, and that's one of the main reasons, beyond just amazing people, why we chose Base to be on. But Base also wants to get to what is it, 1 billion people on Base?
Yeah, I honestly don't even feel like that's an unfeasible goal. I feel like they set these metrics. Like Jesse said, he would shave his head if they got to like 3 billion TVL, and they surpassed it. And he's like, "What now? What do I do?" So anyway, I just think Base has that kind of team where they're constantly surpassing and going to the next goalpost. All right, so something I really want to touch on this podcast, right? We talked about Base being for everyone, on-chain being for everyone, and I look at this like online, right? Online is for everybody, on-chain needs to be for everybody too. So can you guys touch on kind of the aspect of inclusivity that you're trying to foster with your project?
Yeah. So, I mean, the way we look at it is like, as believers ourselves, we wanted to have a community in a space. We wanted to be included. We're not trying to build something that's excluding people. In fact, Christ is King is for people. We have Muslims that are on our teams. We are open to degens. We're open to non-believers, non-Christians. We're giving people a space where when they're interacting with people because of our belief system, there could be a moral code within our Telegram, within our group that might be a little bit different. When people come in, they experience like they're used to like cursing and craziness with the DJing community, and they don't see that in ours. And some people are like, this is kind of a breath of fresh air. So we're just being ourselves. We're being Christians, but that doesn't mean that you have to be Christians. But we're just saying, hey, basis for everyone. Is it okay if Christians come and make a space here?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the statistics, the numbers of how many people globally, and then that's not even mentioning like the business side of it, like how much real estate is owned, capital is owned, like the Christian global community is like, yeah, holds a lot of buying power around the world. So I think that's another thing to consider, like, encouraging these people to come on chain.
Yep. Yeah. It's and there's a part of our community, like as we move forward, just like all communities, that you start to tokenize communities. And so there'll be segments of our communities, like when you enter Discord now. We just launched Discord this past week, which is super cool. We already have, I think, close to 4,000 people in our Discord.
Wow. Wait, when did you, wait, you started, I'm sorry, just to rewind, because that's a very impressive number. When did you start the project?
So we started on May 5th.
Okay.
So
And that might have been the day I started we just came in and I was like, okay, I've been doing a cleanse for 45 days. And like, we started our project 45 days ago. So kind of crazy.
yeah, we're like a fairly new project. I mean, Wes joined a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
So we're all arguably new.
Hmm.
We had a lot of experience and a lot of teams that have built other things. So we already had a powerful Christian Discord. And then we just said, let's take what we already had. Let's bring this Discord in as Christ is King. So what's really cool for the community that's in our Telegram is now we're bringing 4,000 Christians and merging it with 3,000 people from Telegram. And that's powerful. And that's where like Wes comes in. It's like, we're not just going after the traders. We're not just going after the degens. We have access to 2.6 million Christians. And what if we were able to merge that? What could that do, not just for the market cap, but the community? And what could we do in person, in real life? So we're merging two worlds that I don't think all other projects have the same flexibility that we have.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that just a little bit because when you talk about 2.6 billion Christians, you talk about 60,000 different denominations. And so one of the things that we can unify ourselves on is the fact that Christ is King. And so when you look at me being in a lot of different denominations, I actually grew up in the local church, and church is a real thing. There's people that have been in the church their whole life. There's people that come to faith at a different stage, and there's people that never come to faith. And so what I'm looking at is being able to see the actual global capital C church come together under the banner that Christ is King, and to be able to get into the crypto space, which a lot of them have been sitting on the sidelines and not entering in for such a long time. Yeah. So just to take away the mysticism and the where am I going to put my money? A lot of people have, we're talking about curses and blessings. If we look at the covenant, we believe that Christians have the ability to be blessed by God. And the Bible tells us that the world of the generous gets larger and larger. The world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. And so you have this aspect of individuals that have a base on Christ that want to give to the community and want to give back. But they're normally doing it through USD. And now we're going to be able to see them do that through cryptocurrency with our Christ is King meme coin.
Okay, so I also want to touch on the meme coin aspect of this. So if you look at the branding, and everything, I'm kind of getting like some Matt Fury inspired vibes, like, very aligned with the Pepes, a lot of the different type of meme coins you see today on base and beyond. I'm curious what inspired or what made you guys come to that decision design wise? And, I'm like interested in the strategy here of like tapping into the degen and meme communities.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're being honest, I think that I can make an argument that Jesus is the most memeable person or character ever, right? There's been more books written about him, arguably one of the most controversial people to ever walk on the face of this earth. And so we were like, how do you capture that? Like we went back and forth. We had artists from Toshi, the Toshi artist, draw a character,
awesome.
and it turned out looking like amazing artist, by the way, but it kind of looked like a little demon elf, like with a crown on. But
Great artist,
she's
great artist.
awesome artist. But it just like, and I'm like, what is it? And then we kind of came out with this character when we first launched. It actually day 1 through 5 had a different character than this.
Interesting.
And it was like solemn. It was very orthodox and very like, I'm like, bro, this is
one could say religious.
very,
Yeah, you don't want people to run for the hills, you know.
That's what I'm saying. And
It needs to be fun and crypto.
Exactly. So we brought in Eric as our head of marketing, and Eric came from.
Shout out to Eric. I wish Eric could be here today. He's such a legend. He's such
I
a
know.
legend.
So he's having a baby this week. So
Oh, okay. Well, all right. He
thought about it.
He gets a pass this
he
time.
literally thought about coming. I'm like, bro, no.
And I was his replacement, so I'm sorry about that. I wasn't saying sorry that he's having a baby. I love kids. My wife and I have 4. So
Come on.
if that came through, we're not cutting it. I just want to make sure that everybody
He's on
knows.
7. But so we brought. Okay, so we bring in Eric
Number of
as
completion for
head
those of the-
of marketing.
Yeah.
And he comes out of like, okay, so Eric had one of the first NFT projects ever, like legitimately, and in the Christian world, period. Like he had the first NFT. It was called Kingdom Warriors. So he was already in the space, and then about 9 months ago, he took over. He was the biggest holder for Beans on Soul. Okay.
Okay.
Bean-
He's coming over to base. Wow.
So, and with Beans, he became like, it was a CTO. He came over, and so he knew the space. And when he got in, he was like, guys, this isn't fun. Like,
Oh, wow.
but
Wow.
he hit on something. Like, it's got to capture people.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and this actually probably offends a lot of Christians because they're like, it's a card.
I wanted to ask about that because, like, what if people see this, and this is just, I'm trying to explore different psychological perspectives
yeah.
here. What if someone thinks this is a joke and, like, not
That's fair.
actually? Because, yeah, I've like heard people see this and they're like, wait, are they serious? Is this like mocking it? Like, how do you kind of find that line to like show this is sincere, you know, and not a joke?
I have a little story about that. So I think day 2, we were trying to, you know how like you can get your on deck screeners, there's like poop symbols and up symbols and rocket symbols.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So there's this company that helps you with like not having poop symbols. Okay.
Okay.
So we reached out to them and they said, we refuse to work with you guys. And I'm like, why? They're like, we're Christians. And we don't want to work with people that are mocking God. And I'm like,
Oh, so this is
no.
happening. Okay, this is
And
happening.
so we had to like, we're wrestling with that as a team. Like, but we realized, listen, when you're stepping out and you're doing things that are different and you're changing things, I don't care what part of culture, whether it's religion or you're doing meme coins. How many people probably mock our professions? You guys are doing tokens and memes, and they're like, what are you guys, kids? And we're like, kind of, actually. we're
Didn't want to grow up.
You do. And so I think we're willing to risk that because I think when people see the authenticity, when they see us out, I mean,
As soon as they talk to you guys, you know this is legit.
Yeah.
They're very for real. They're sincere. They want to do good in the world. But I think it's kind of like, for lack of a better word, like kind of Trojan horsing the DGen community. It's like, hey, we're coming in as this meme, so you can get more people on board to join the communities.
What is very interesting about this particular concept of Christ is the fact that it does something to the religious spirit that is here in the earth that is very I would say, man, how would you describe the religious spirit?
To some people that don't know, because I know people that are watching this may not understand the terminology. The religious spirit is that spirit. You know when people are like, I don't like the church because it's judgmental.
Okay.
That's the religious spirit. The religious spirit is the one that will say, will put somebody down because they're maybe not walking right or drinking or whatever.
Okay.
And they also are
It's
ones
like the restrictive ideology.
very restrictive and very judgmental, and they put church in a box. And they've determined what that box is. And if you're outside the box, you're not doing the
And
thing.
I think that's kind of like where a lot of stigma comes
Correct.
in like especially like modern society. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard because and so I mean, honestly, we're trying to break that. Like we're completely trying to demolish that. And so this
This is out of the box.
This
is
is
completely out of
actually
the box.
the most popular Jesus meme. It's called Buddy Christ. It's from a movie called Dogma.
Oh, so this has existed already, like this character that
You know
style.
Carlton.
Carlson?
Wait,
now I don't know. The comedian. Wait.
There you go. Words
from the 70s.
Words with friends.
George Carlin.
George Carlin. Okay. Oh, he's like on another level.
So he's
yeah.
in this movie Dogma, and they have like the Jesus coming out
I
with
mean,
like
Ben Affleck is in it,
Yeah,
and
it
there's
was super famous. Actually, this year is the 25th anniversary. So you're gonna see Buddy Christ on billboards because they're coming out with the 25th anniversary this year of Dogma, which is interesting. So George Carlin comes out, and it's like the Jesus that you see in like Catholic churches with the and he rolls out buddy Christ, and it's completely offensive to everybody. And that's the whole point of dogma, is like there's this religious spirit. At the end of the day, there's movies, there's songs, there's cartoon books for kids. It shouldn't really offend people, but there will be people that are offended. But I think our point is so that we can be a part of the base community, we can be part of the meme culture, and we're doing things that will, when you see what we're doing in real life events, it's going to shake the church. The church probably is not going to like what we have to do or what we are doing, but we're okay with that, because at the end of the day, we want to bring freedom and sovereignty to people. We know that Web3 is able to do that. So whatever we have to do, if we have to be the ones on the front, like I was saying to you at one point, like if the pioneers are always the one taking the arrows, you're always taking the hit. And if we have to be those people, like West is built for that. Like he's literally like the son of an NFL player. Like
That's
he's
crazy.
built to take hits. And so we're willing to do that. If the church wants to throw arrows at us, throw arrows at us. If the base community doesn't understand, that's fine. But trust us, we're here. We have high integrity. We're here for the long run, and we're here to bring value to the community. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring in Pops for a bit, Al Hill, Dad, if you're watching it, yeah, no, he didn't play that long. I could take hits too. I only played collegiately, but I had hip surgery at 19, so we're not gonna get into the weeds on all of that. But it definitely runs down the gene pool. But what I will say is, I didn't meet my dad until I was 19 years old. And so my mom actually was the one who hid me in the church and had me as baby Jesus, because she's like, if he's not going to be around, I don't know how to father a son. So she really hid me in the local church. And so for me, growing up and being a part of a bunch of different denominations, I started out with Assemblies of God, then I went Covenant, then I went non-denominational, and then I went Baptist. So I would consider myself like well-rounded when it comes to like the church world. And I worked for some amazing and served for some amazing pastors that are leading awesome churches. And what we talk about decentralization, there's something that the Lord wants to do. I really feel like God wants to do something outside of the four walls of the church. And Web3 allows us to be able to break that wall and that barrier to get out into all spaces. So as far as a Christian, we need to occupy all spaces. We need to, it's so funny because you used to put Christian in front of something to let people know that it probably wasn't as good. So like, think about it, like Christian music, a Christian movie, any type of industry. But for the longest time, the local church was the epitome of the place that you would go to be able to experience something that was bigger than themselves. And so what I found with the religious spirit is it's become so much in a box that now people don't feel necessarily, there's certain people that don't even feel comfortable going into church. And so when we talk about the degens and all the people that are just behind their computer, the Bible says that people will know that you love me by the way you love one another. And so if you see us exchanging on, doing these meme coins and building all the things that we're going to be building, it is kind of a Trojan horse because there's so much behind the scenes of what this movement is going to do. And people are going to make digital declarations, if I could speak right. People are going to make digital declarations of wanting to follow Christ because of the way that we do life together behind the scenes and on Web3, and it's going to come to IRL. So I'm excited about that.
All right, I just want to share because you touched on something about love, and I think my core belief and philosophy is that if you stay rooted in love and putting good out into the world, that will never fail you. Like I'm a big part of a community. You asked what Doge is. So by the way, we're bringing him into
Super
the crypto
fresh
space right now. So he asked what's Doge? I'm like, oh, well, there's this cute little yellow dog from Japan named Kabosu, who this woman saved from a puppy mill from being euthanized. And this dog went on to be, I think, the very first internet viral, like famous meme, like one of the, like the Reddit days, late 20,000 or 20, sorry, I can't even talk, late 2000s and 2010s. So this little dog went on to have this ripple effect of like this entire community forming around the dog. And like their belief is to do only good every day. That's Doge. Do only good every day. So I'm actually a media advisor for Own the Doge. Shout out to my Own the Doge family. And the reason I resonated and align with them so much is they're like, a couple things they say is do only good every day. And there's a woman in their community who sadly passed. Her name was Julia Love. And she has this quote, if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. So That's another thing. I think of that all the time. I
Yeah.
think, am I having fun? Am I enjoying the work I'm doing? Like, I love doing stuff like this. This is like honestly, I feel like a little kid. Like, so happy to do this. But something you touched on was like, we gotta make this fun. We can't
Gotta
be
be.
so. Let's like loosen up. Let's like not be in a box here. So I think you guys get the core philosophies, like things that are important, and you know we talk about security in the space. I know we're still in the Wild West, but something that has worked for me so far, like I'm doxxed, I show my face, I'm on podcast. Something I believe in is just doing good, doing right by others, and staying rooted in love. So far, that has been a very good insurance policy because you just do right by people,
right.
and it's worked for me so far. So anyway, I'm on a tangent here. But
No,
yeah.
I think
Also, I do want to touch on another thing. So
Yeah.
you mentioned focusing on inclusivity for your project. This is for everyone. So let's say because we are in the crypto space, you are going to have a lot of non-religious people. Would you say that an investment like this, and by the way, no financial advice here, just going through all the education here, how would you view someone like that looking at this strategically as an investment?
strategically as an investment, I mean, I would put my money on the communities that have the biggest faith and have the ability to all collectively come around one idea, to have a lot of passion behind that idea and be able to scale their community fast. And so a lot of meme coins, yeah, they have identity around maybe a character, but that's a very niche realm. It could be a niche realm. Some communities do it well though. Like Doge, you can do it well, but that takes you like Brett. That takes you going into real life and doing things big, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen Brett do it. We've seen Toshi, a lot of other projects on base. I mean, Doge, I always come back to as just like the golden
It is.
example of like, this is ingrained in history. Like this could potentially be in history textbooks at some
I
point.
think
You know what I mean?
They set the blueprint for tokenized communities, and I think people are going to look back on this part of history and be like, oh my gosh, this is when tokenized communities started. It started with fun memes, but now everybody's using them. So to answer your question, I think this is a wise thing for anybody, regardless of whether you believe in Christianity or not. We have the ability with people like Wes leading the front in real life events. Like,
Oh, I love
if
that.
we could, it would blow your mind if you even knew half of the things that we're planning to do.
All right, well,
to get out
I'm
into the
excited.
community. It's like, and we have church after church after church, and each one of those has members and members that are willing to give if they know, for example, if they know that some of the proceeds are going to build wells.
Like, yeah, I mean, that makes my heart happy whenever a project is focused on impact, right? Because there's so many like projects out there where it's very much focused on number go up, like moon boy energy, but it's like, wait, how are we actually making the world a better place? Are we just trying to pump our bags and like focus on greed, or are we actually like gonna do something meaningful and impactful here? And I wrote, I don't know if I told you this, but wrote a book called Impact Entrepreneur with like 17 other people. This became a best-selling book. The whole book is focused on like all of us sharing our story and how as entrepreneurs, it's kind of like our duty and our responsibility to give back and solve problems and make the world a better place. So I try to bring that ideology into the crypto space and not just like, focus on pumping my bags, but like if we can solve some actual problems and make life better for people, that just feels like a no-brainer to me. But I also love memes. I love memes in the DJing community too.
Everything, and I think that a wise person that's looking at this just purely speculative, purely for an investment, I'd be like, that's the horse that I would hitch my wagon to, because it's the the demographic that we have to go after is so large.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, each state like that we start doing in real life in person events, I mean, with our network and with Wes's network, like, guys, it's hard to explain, but Christians can gather in numbers like you can't even imagine. We've been part of events in the United States and overseas where 60 to 70,000 people just come just to worship Christ. And what if we brought out, you know, base? We're calling him Base Christ instead of Buddy Christ because he's based. But what if we brought him out? And what if there was a QR code on stage that everybody out there got to capture, and everybody got a little bit of this? But what we asked from them is, we put your charity up and somebody else's charity up and somebody else's charity up, and we said, everybody here, 60,000 people, choose who you're going to give to, be a Christian, love people well. The impact we can make, and that's just one event. It's just, we're so excited because we're one of those communities that we completely doxed everybody out there. You could see our faces. We're here. We're
I really appreciate that, because it's like you're humanizing yourselves, your team, you're showing up as you, and that does take a lot of guts in this space. A lot of people, and there are legitimate reasons for people not sharing their identity, but it does put me more at ease to like be sitting across from you at a table, like talking to you, hearing your story, and I think there's an element of humanization with showing up as ourselves. I respect a lot when people do it. Just to cover the last couple things. So we have NFT NYC coming up. I'm curious if you could dive into that or anything else you guys are excited about that's on your roadmap.
Yeah, well, I'm completely new to this space, and so I want to.
Straight into the fire.
I'm
You're
going
straight
straight
from
into
that
the
fire
fire.
hose
Oh
today.
my goodness! But no, I want to be able to be out with these groups of people, and I think it's important with the rise of AI and all the different things is to really get together, and I think that a community that's coming together for a certain cause is very important, and to be able to be a light in that place. Like when you come to an event, like Christ is King is going to be there. Like we're going to have a representative at each location with these events that are going on, because we want to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and so the only way we do that is if we're out in the community. Okay, so any type of miracle. There was only one miracle that occurred in the Bible, and I would highly suggest that any of you out there just start reading the Word. But here's the thing: there was only one miracle that happened that Jesus was not actually there for, and it was when a centurion came and said, "Hey, my daughter is sick, and I need you to come with me right away." And there wasn't going to be enough time for them to come back in order for the miracle to take place. And so he said, I'm a man of authority, and I understand that if you just even say the word, that whatever is happening in the background, like whatever angels you have, whatever things that I can't see, I understand that you're a man of authority, and if you just speak the word, she'll be healed. And so that was the only miracle that occurred where Jesus wasn't actually present. But the thing that is so important about Christ being King and being resurrected is the fact that he gave us the Holy Spirit. And so now we're able to be the hands and feet of Jesus and the body of Christ. And so when we're at these events, we want to pray for you. We want to be able to see signs, miracles, and wonders occur. And for you to be able to be like, I've heard about this in a textbook, but now I'm experiencing it in real life. And I cannot refute the fact that Christ is King. He completely changed my life. And we are just being image bearers of that fact.
I'm curious if you have any thoughts or anything you want to share on your future roadmap or
Yeah.
anything you're excited about.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. I'm excited. Actually, we're gonna
Sound
hang out.
excited. Can you sound excited for me,
It's
please?
been a long day. We haven't eaten here.
I'm excited to hang out with you again, Rachel, at NFT NYC. We're gonna have some cool stuff going on there. We have a Tesla that we're going to be driving around Times Square, hopefully filming an on-chain podcast inside the Tesla.
I'm so there.
All right.
There. Let's go.
And
Is it wrapped with?
I hope it's wrapped. I'm
CIK?
letting Ian surprise us. But if it's wrapped with Christ is King when I get there, I'm going to be pumped. But I think we're going to have a billboard.
Ian,
This
please
thing's
get
gonna
that
be
to
up
happen
in
for us.
Times Square, 60 feet, and I think that's just a flex. I don't.
Wait, can we recap that real quick? So this is gonna be in Times Square.
Yes.
Okay, on a big billboard.
Yeah, that thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And I don't know.
awesome.
And we haven't figured out why. I think I just want to get a
Just to
picture
do it.
with Brandon and just
Yeah.
just flex. So no, but you know what? Why I'm looking forward to it is I just got back from the Philippines. That was the wildest experience. We had the main booth at Philippine Blockchain Week. Our advisor Ian was talking about tokenized communities, and it was about Shibu, Kiki, and Christ is King, right, representing all the different chains and different things. And we had the main booth, and it was like there's hundreds of people lined up to get stickers and spin a wheel to get Christ is King tokens. And we forgot. We were doing an interview like this. We forgot for hours that people were watching, because you know how you kind of
You get in the zone. Yeah.
get in the
yeah.
zone, and it's so loud, and you're kind of in your own little bubble. And we started praying for people, and people started crying and going out, and people were watching God move, and we weren't doing it. We were just being ourselves. But it impacted people. It impacted people deeply, and they've messaged us since then. Philippines just happens to be a country that's 95% Christian. So we were received very.
They're bullish.
They're bullish, but I wanted to say shout out to the Philippines. They're amazing. They are. If you want to capture an audience,
All the nanais, tatais. I need some lumpia.
yeah.
I'm getting hungry right now.
some of their beautiful food, their beautiful
Sunset,
people.
chicken adobo.
If you want to get an audience that's on fire for your token, go to the Philippines.
Go to the Philippines.
They are the #1 AI consumers, #1 social media, and they love very, very well.
Number one Axie Infinity players too, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that a thing?
it's
That's a
wild.
thing, yeah.
So I want to bring that energy that we did in Philippines next week to NFT NYC and do the same thing. We're showing up, guys. You'll see myself and Wes there. You'll see a couple of other members from our team. We will have a talk on, I think, the keynote. They'll be mentioning Crisis King, which would be kind of cool. And then we're just going to be there, loving on people, driving around in a Tesla. So if you want to join us, that's what we'll be doing.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like fun. And I'm so grateful we got to have this experience today. Like doing this in person, there is no replacement for IRL connections. We're always behind a screen, right, in this space. So I think showing up and kind of transcending and connecting as humans is very important. So it's one of the reasons I hop on a plane every month like a crazy person and go to different countries and go to different, places to connect with the community. And I think it's like medicine, I don't know. I love it. So, any final words of wisdom or anything you guys want to share?
Where can
people find you?
Yeah,
Crisis
King.
Crisis King.
CrisisKing.io, and you want to tell them where they can actually get the coin.
Go to CrisisKing.io. Join our Telegram. Join our Discord that has a ton of people, a lot of action in it. There's different rooms and experiences, and we're excited to slowly release to the community all the awesome things we're working on behind the scenes. As you put a disclaimer out in the beginning, we have our disclaimer that we can't tell you guys about all the utility that is not coming, but it's coming.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Cheers, and I'll see you at NFT NYC. I know you don't want to drink. I'm sorry.
He's fasting. Thank you, Rachel.
We got Bodhi here, our guest star, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you.
Bye.